Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the midweek Flagler Weather Update. Today is the 22nd of October, 2025, and we're starting with a look at what the best that the satellite can keep up. We're starting with a look at tropical cyclone Melissa. Melissa is currently a tropical storm in the Caribbean Sea. And looking at the satellite image, the center of it, you can kind of see right where the center is. It's kind of like right here. But you notice that when the when the satellite catches back up, even though the center is kind of like right around here, all the thunderstorms are being blown this direction. So it is getting organized, but it's not fully organized just yet. National Hurricane Center believes this will become a hurricane. So let's take a look at the current state of it right now. And let's go ahead and get a look in it here. So right now, as of the latest advisory, which was issued at, let's see here, it looks like 8 p.m. The latest advisory was issued at 8 p.m. Melissa was packing winds of 50 miles per hour sustained. And looking at the long-range forecast from the National Hurricane Center, it looks like that at least through the next 7 days, it's just going to hang out in the Caribbean. So a very slow trip to the north, and then a little jaunt off to the west. Matter of fact, making a little bit more progression going off to the west here. And when you see that M, that is indicating a major hurricane. That's a hurricane Cat 3 or stronger. And the water temperature here is like rocket fuel for these things. So it looks like that the conditions will be better for development. Now, you see this big bubble here. This tells us that the National Hurricane Center has very low confidence on where this is going to be in 7 days. So it could still be over here. It could be over here. It could be up here. It could be down here. It could be anywhere in this balloon. So this is that cone of error. It's not quite shaped like a cone. So when you see that, that's what the Hurricane Center is like. Your guess is as good as ours on where it's going to be in the next 7 days. Look at the wind field. Tropical storm force winds extend quite a distance from the center, more to the north and east of the center versus the west side. So, but that's what we're going to talk about that right now. There's no other concerns in the tropics at this point, and just taking a look at some of the key messages with this thing here. As Melissa's forecast to meander over the central Caribbean Sea, it could potentially be a major hurricane by early next week. And the key bits are interest in Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, Dominican Republic. Urged to continue monitoring the latest forecast. And there is going to be risk for prolonged exposure to strong winds lasting for a day or longer. And this risk is increasing for Jamaica and also parts of Haiti. They're urging folks in these areas to be prepared. And very heavy rainfall is also going to be a potential over the Dominican Republic. Now, what about us? So we are a long, long way from getting to that part of this. So we can take a look at the global models that are offered here, if I have any to run you. We have some here. So this is some of them, and they all basically, at some point, blast off to the northeast. So the one thing to watch is where does that northeast turn happen? If it gets further out over towards the Yucatan and suddenly decides it's going to go north and northeast here, it could potentially put us in play, or at least somewhere in Florida. I'm not saying direct hit or anything like that, but it could have some effect on our weather if it goes further west and then jaunting off. Most of the guidance takes it well off to the north, well off to our southeast with that northeast turn, taking it across eastern. If I was in eastern Cuba, I'd be quite concerned. And if I was in Haiti, I would also be concerned. Of course, the poor people of Haiti go through a lot alone without having a tropical cyclone cause them problems. So that's some of the models that they're coming in, and some of the ensembles. Again, it's the oddball going through southern Florida, a couple oddballs, but most of them are focusing here. But again, these models change. I usually don't like to show models too often because these change every 6 hours. So 6 hours from now, this could be completely different. But just because folks are going to ask, what about the long range? What about Florida? Well, it's looking okay for us. We're not 100% off the hook, but it's looking okay for us. So anyhow, but elsewhere in the tropics, let's back up a little bit And the one map I always tell folks to look at is this one. This tells us the wind risk of tropical storm force winds, and not even close to Florida anywhere. Matter of fact, that wind risk goes to Central America, to Cuba. Again, they've even down here in very northern South America, which is extremely rare to get a tropical cyclone that far south. So anywhere in this area in the next 7 days is where those concerns chiefly lie. So let's go further into the future of tropical cyclone development, how things look. Well, going into the end of October and early November, there's no development expected. And going into the middle part of November, this is good news, no development is expected. Is this bulletproof? This is an outlook. So this is kind of an experimental outlook. So this does not mean it's written in stone, but this is a good, strong signal that once Melissa does what it's going to do, that we're looking pretty good in the tropics, at least into the middle part of November. This outlook is updated every week, so when we talk to you again sometime, we might have a different one to look at. So taking a look at what's going on with our local weather here, we have a front, very weak low pressure system. It's dry, lots of dry air, very abnormally dry air into the area here. And that front settles to our south, high pressure is in control. And that's pretty much going to be the story for the rest of the week. Now, we'll be back at the end of the week to talk about it, but another front, another system here is going to be moving our direction towards the end of the week, and that could potentially give us a chance of rain, maybe Sunday, Monday. How much, how often, it's just too early to know. The National Weather Service is calling for about a 20% chance. Of course, they called for that last Sunday, and we got almost an inch of rain. So, again, those long-range forecasts can be tricky. But let's see what the forecast looks like right now for us and for the next several days here. Talk about high temperatures. So this is today's highs. Tonight, we're looking at lows. Generally, right near that 60-degree mark. Going to be feeling cool out there. Look at this, upper 50s. Good chunk of the western part of the county here. If you're on the beaches, you're going to be mid-60s out there. The ocean temperature is about 75, 76 degrees. It's cooled off a little bit. But you're going to be warmer near the beaches. As you go further inland, the cooler it will get. How about tomorrow? We're looking at in the upper 70s county-wide. A little cooler at the beaches. Again, at ocean temperature, about 76 degrees. That's going to reflect on your high temperatures from Marineland down to Beverly Beach. Now, as we go through the rest of the week, we're not looking at any dramatic changes in our temperatures. So when we get to the weekend, Saturday, our overnight lows will be a little bit warmer in the 60s, 70s beaches. And as we go into Saturday, we're getting into the 80s, 60s and 80s, probably just getting to 80. But as we go through the week, going into next Wednesday, no real big changes in our temperature. So high temperatures, 78 to 80 degrees largely, maybe an 81 or an 82. Low temperatures between 60 and 65, maybe a little warmer some days, maybe cooler in others. Patchy dense fog will be possible in those early morning hours because of those cooler temperatures and bringing the temperature down to the dew point. Though the air is very dry, so the fog is not expected to be widespread. So let's talk about gusty winds right now. Are we going to have any gusty winds to deal with? Maybe by Friday, we see gusts up to 25 miles per hour along the coast, a little less than that inland. When we get to Saturday, we're gusting into the 30s now. So it's going to get breezy as we go into the weekend here. So gusting up to 32 miles per hour along the beaches. As we get into Sunday, we're gusting up to 35 miles per hour. So getting quite breezy at the beaches. So beachside, you might want to have a plan where you're going to put those rubbish cans. If you have any really delicate Halloween stuff out there, lawn decorations. If you're immediate beachside, you might want to think about where you're going to, hide that stuff. And those gusty winds continue in early next week, where we're looking at gusts up to 36 miles per hour along the beaches, especially down here in the southeast part of the county. And so it's going to stay breezy as we go from Saturday into early next week. How about rain chances? Let's take a look at that. So are we going to see rain chances increase? Well, we stay dry pretty much right into Thursday. Friday, dry. Friday night, dry. Saturday, dry. Saturday night, dry. Well, look at this. Sunday, we have a scathing 15% chance of rain. So largely dry if this forecast holds. We saw it happen last Sunday. And then as we get into Sunday, and we just talked about Sunday, as we get into Sunday night, those rain chances start to edge up ever so slightly. And as we get into Monday, now we're up to about 30% chance. As we get into Monday, Tuesdays, we're going to see a little bit higher chances of rain for Flagler County. So how much rain are we going to get? Rainfall amounts, less than 1/10 of an inch. This was the forecast last week, too, and we got almost an inch. So, again, these numbers can change, but we're not expecting any significant rain. And those rain chances, whatever they're going to be, looks to be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So, is it going to be cooling off? I get that question a lot. The answer is, when we get into the last part of October, getting towards Halloween, yes, indeed, it looks like it will be cooling off. So right now there is below normal temperatures on average expected from October 28th to November 1st. So if you're going to be putting on a big, heavy Halloween costume, this is good news. If you're going to be wearing that really skimpy Halloween costume, maybe this is not good news. Precipitation chances during the same time frame look to be a little bit above normal. So again, we'll have to see how that shakes out. So above normal precipitation chances as we go towards the very end of October and into early November. Hopefully that does not interfere with trick-or-treat night. It's just too early to determine that just yet. So the 8 to 14-day outlook taking us further into the future. This takes us October 30th to November 5th. Pretty substantial chance, 54% chance of being below normal on the temperatures. Again, that is comfortable if you're going to be wearing a heavy Halloween costume. You're not going to die from the heat, but if you're going to wear something skimpy, it's going to be a little cool for you. And looking at the precipitation, looks like about normal chances of precipitation in that time frame. So that is good news for the trick-or-treaters. That's a signal it probably won't be raining on Halloween night, though it might be cool. So that's going to wrap things up. We appreciate everyone taking time to check in with us. If you missed the beginning of this video, you can rewind it. You can also catch it on our YouTube channel, and we'll be posting to our TikTok channel as well. So, yes, we are on TikTok. Look for Flagler Weather Info on TikTok. Look for Flagler Weather Info on YouTube. Everybody have a great evening, and we'll talk to you probably Saturday or Sunday.